passionate deciphering of this nonverbal realm. He finds the code in his synthesis of the seemingly, but only seemingly, disparate sciences that study evolution, animal instinct, mammalian physiology, and the human brain, and in his hard-won experience as a therapist. Potentially traumatic situations are ones that induce states of high physiological arousal, but without the freedom for the affected person to express and get past these states. Danger without the possibility of fight or flight, and, afterward, without the opportunity to shake it off, as a wild animal would following a frightful encounter with a predator. What ethologists call tonic immobility, the paralysis and physical emotional shutdown that characterize the universal experience of helplessness in the face of mortal danger, comes to dominate the person's life and functioning. We are scared stiff. In human beings, unlike in animals, the state of temporary freezing becomes a long-term trait. The survivor, Peter Levine points out, may remain stuck in a kind of limbo, not fully re-engaging in life. In circumstances where others sense no more than a mild threat or even a challenge to be faced, the traumatized person experiences threat, dread, and mental physical listlessness, a kind of paralysis of body and will. Shame, depression, and self-loathing follow in the wake of such imposed helplessness. The American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, deals in categories, not in pain, in the incisive words of psychiatrist and researcher Daniel Siegel. Central to Peter Levine's teaching is that trauma cannot be reduced to the diagnostic traits compiled by the DSM under the rubric of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Trauma is not a disease, he points out, but rather a human experience rooted in survival instincts. Inviting the full, if carefully graded, expression of our instinctive responses will allow the traumatic state to loosen its hold on the sufferer. Goodness, the restoration of vitality, follows. It springs from within. Trauma is a fact of life, Levine writes. It does not, however, have to be a life sentence. In our suffering lies also our salvation. As he shows, the same psychophysiological systems that govern the traumatic state also mediate core feelings of goodness and belonging. Peter's astonishing awareness of and attention to nuanced detail as he observes and describes his client's unfreezing are at the heart of his teaching, as are his techniques to guide and facilitate his process. Reading this manuscript, I was impressed by how often I experienced aha moments as I recalled my own observations in my work with traumatized and often addicted people. I could now understand and interpret these observations in a new way, and not only my clinical observations, but also my own personal experience. And that's important, for as Peter recognizes, the therapist's attuning to his or her own experience serves as an essential guiding light, leading the healing process along the right path. Peter Levine and the reader complete their mutual journey with an exploration of spirituality and trauma. There is, he writes, an intrinsic and wedded relationship between the two. For all our rootedness in a physical body, we humans are spiritual creatures. As a psychiatrist Thomas Hora astutely pointed out, all problems are psychological, but all solutions are spiritual. With this book, Peter Levine secures his position in the forefront of trauma healing as theorist, practitioner, and teacher. All of us in the therapeutic community, physicians, psychologists, therapists, aspiring healers, interested lay people, are ever so much richer for this summation of what he himself has learned. Part 1. Roots, a foundation to dance on. We must go down to the very foundations of life. For any merely superficial ordering of life that leaves its deepest needs unsatisfied is as ineffectual as if no attempt at order had ever been made. I Ching, hexagram number 34, The Well, circa 2500 BC. Chapter 1. The Power of an Unspoken Voice. When a man has learned within his heart what fear and trembling mean, he is safeguarded against any terror produced by outside influences. I Ching, hexagram number 51, circa 2500 BC. No matter how self-assured we are, in a fraction of a second, our lives can be utterly devastated. As in the biblical story of Jonah, the unknowable forces of trauma and loss can swallow us whole, thrusting us deep into their cold, dark belly. Entrapped yet lost, we become hopelessly frozen.